The bill's chief sponsor is a Democrat representing the Aloha area. This is certainly something we're going to keep an eye on. And we know that many of you are not hearing about this for the first time today. Word is spreading online and on the streets.
All right, so to my surprise, we showed up here in Old Town, and we're outside Street Roots, where a lot of homeless people gather every morning. They get their coffee, they get their newspapers to go out and sell. Anyways, we showed up, and I just started telling them about this, the talk of the proposed $1,000 payments, and they all finished my sentences, and they were like, yeah, we think that's a great idea. We just read about it yesterday, and they were all on board. And, a lot of people said that this money would really fill the gap for them and help them reach sobriety or stay sober and find housing, which they all agreed was the number one thing. They said living in a tent or a trailer and, worrying if your stuff's going to get stolen, as we all know and as we've reported many times, just isn't sustainable. So they said this $1,000 would be the difference. All right, so we just drove to Northwest 23rd to try and talk with other people who aren't experiencing homelessness about this proposal. And some people who didn't want to go on camera, but they shared with us that they think it's a bad idea to give this type of money to people living on the streets. They were like, oh no, don't give them $1,000. They're just going to use it on drugs, which is in direct contrast from what we heard from the people in Old Town who say this money will actually help them reach sobriety. So it's sort of interesting. You just drive a few blocks and people think totally different things.
Yep, interesting, Blair. And I guess it's a difference of the people who are getting the money or the people who would be watching the money go out. But here's my opinion on all this. When I first heard about Blair's story there, I got to tell you, I really thought it was a wingnut idea that wouldn't stand a chance in the legislature. And I'm still not convinced that it's a good idea or that it will work. And the people I talked with inside the legislature, by the way, they're not sure it's going to pass. But I have to admit, it's not coming out of the blue. There is, it turns out, a movement across the country to give folks a guaranteed income like that. Tacoma, to our north, ran a pilot project last year with 110 low-income people. They were given $500 a month for a year. But here's a big difference. They were all employed and they were all the head of a household. The final report on the thing that went out for, won't be out for another year, even though the program ended in November. Not sure what's up with that. But early reporting by publications like U.S. News and World Report suggests the program was quite successful. Still, in my opinion, there is a big difference between giving hardworking, low-income people some extra help as opposed to someone who is living on the streets, many of whom are dealing with mental health problems and drug addiction. I think giving them $1,000 a month for 2 years, in my opinion, terrible idea. But that's just me. You don't have to agree with me. Let me know what you think. Send us an email, will you? The address is thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090.